Hey guys, it is Mike with Become the Night. Welcome back to another Song Suggestion Friday. This is the show where you guys let me know your suggestions in the comments below. I choose those, throw them into a poll on Patreon. If you want to take part in that Patreon poll, you can head on over to my Patreon page. Link is in the description. Pledge $5 or more a month and you can take part. The patrons vote on the songs. I picked the ones that were most voted and I listen to them and give my thoughts and opinions. I grade it on a scale of plus sign, equal sign, minus sign, and it's all whatever the hell I feel like for whatever reason want to give it that score. Let's get started. Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin. This is probably my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It's between this and Whole Lotta Love. I absolutely love that main riff. It has such a badass chug. It's just driving, high energy, like you're ready to ride off in the battle. The drum fills in between the John Bonham does, in between the verses and the turnaround or whatever, they sound so freaking tight and they're just badass. You're just like, how in the hell? Then they finally have the turnaround, which I guess you could maybe count that as a chorus, the da 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 da. And then they have the ascending guitar parts, like, oh my gosh, dude, it's just epic. The guitar solos in this are not super shredderific, but like they borderline it, but they're super soulful, man. Really, really good. The outro, as what I would interpret as the outro, I'd say is about 3 minutes long, and it's just the best part because it just culminates everything we've heard so far into one awesome ending. Amazing experience, go check it out. Total grade for this song, 3 plus signs. The Accolade by Symphony X. Symphony X is kind of like Dream Theater. They actually formed around the same time as each other, and you can kind of hear the similar influences, but you can absolutely see where one went off in one direction and one went off in the other. The intro and just my biggest complaint in general with Symphony X, the keyboard samples are super chintzy, especially for 1997. All of the lead guitar work in this song is off the chain, like really, 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 really good. This song in particular reminds me vaguely of another progressive metal band called Andromeda, if anyone's familiar. The song itself is pretty spacey. There's tons of verb on the drums and a little bit on the guitars. And the really cool organ part was a nice change and helped lead into this clean guitar part with piano. I mean, that part really helped make me enjoy this more. Symphony X could really stand to up their production more. It's not the worst production, but Dream Theater definitely does it better. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Long Live the King by Sabaton. The main theme of the song is super cool. It's very regal, which for some reason you German metalheads absolutely love. The vocals were very interesting. I wasn't sure that I liked them when I first listened to them, but as the song went on and as he got more passionate and I got to hear more of what his range is like, I really, really liked the vocals a lot. In addition to the lead vocals, there was a lot of choir vocals in the background. Those sounded epic. The guitar tone was just a little bright for my tastes. It was actually starting to irritate my ears. There is tons of verb in this song. It is a huge, huge room. The solo was really cool, but at the end of the day, the vocals were really what made this song for me. It was an epic song. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Death to All But Metal by Steel Panther. This song is hilarious. Just raucous, talking shit on everything that isn't metal, like literally every genre you can think of, they're just shitting all over it. It's great. Steel Panther is kind of like the parody band for 80s hair metal. They have wicked-ass guitar solos and cool riffs. It was pretty fun. My favorite line was the Dr. Seuss line. That had me cracking up pretty hard. One of the riffs was a straight rip from Seek and Destroy by Metallica. Yeah, straight rip off. I will say though, for a parody band, they definitely do 80s hair band metal very well. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Let Down by Radiohead. This had a very interesting sonic picture. That's what I was saying when the intro started and then the vocals came in and I was like, the so familiar, annoying vocals of Tom York. I know a lot of people like his vocals, and I know in previous Song Suggestion Fridays I have given him credit for some of his vocal work, but there's like a fine line for me between sounding like Muse and then just being annoying. Tom York's vocals don't always annoy me. I used to think that they did. They don't always annoy me, but this is one of those times where they really bugged me. The song is really chilled out, which typically isn't my thing, but the production is really, really fine. I mean, that's really what saves it for me. It is extremely sonically pleasing. There's tons of depth, and it's a very well constructed song. The only real negative for me is his vocal performance up until the ending. The ending vocals I actually did enjoy, which sounded even more like Muse. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Where the Wild Things Are by Metallica. That intriguing, clean chorus riff in the intro. It's so tantalizing yet disturbed. I'll be honest, I love just about everything about this song. This was one of the first Metallica songs I was ever introduced to. When I was very young, my brother, who's 7 years older than me, he used to drive me around everywhere because he was 17, so he had his license. He would drive me into school. He would drive me to go shopping or whatever we needed to do. And he would be playing this song on repeat on a fucking tape that he had recorded himself. Now, I know this is one of those they don't sound like Metallica anymore songs, but let's just, for the sake of looking at this song by itself, let's pretend this isn't Metallica. The production and song structure is so awesome. There's nothing really too complicated about either one. It's just very well executed, and it's so thoughtfully constructed, relatively simple at the end of the day, but just the way everything comes together, man. This is possibly my favorite vocal performance by James Hetfield. Offhand, I can't think of one that's better. I am not much of a lyrics guy, as I've said before, but over the years, obviously, I'm gonna dive into these lyrics and find out what's going on since I like this song so much. They paint such a vivid picture, and it matches the music so well, so good. Every piece of this arrangement is so important that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like, seriously, go listen to this song, Where the Wild Things Are by Metallica, please. Total grade for this song, 3+ signs. Invisible by Dio. Dio being awesome in his uniquely low production way. One thing I noticed off the bat was there was some very big verb on the drums, and I don't know if they put the same one on the guitars and bass or not, but either because of the way they recorded it or just not matching the verb correctly, that the drums sat in a really nice room and sounded nice, and the guitar and bass kind of sounded flat and like they sat on top of everything. The song did have some very cool classic metal riffs though. And this guy was helping pioneer the pinch harmonic on the guitar. Has a killer guitar solo that'll melt your face off. Which, by the way, noticing a theme yet? It seems like there's just tons of songs you guys suggested today that have awesome guitar solos. Nothing other than that really stands out for me that much. It's not one of my favorite Dio performances, but he did some very cool vocal work in there. All in all, cool song. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Lack of Comprehension by Death. I am lacking the comprehension of why someone would choose to listen to this. And there's yet another theme coming up in our song suggestions this week, is weird spacey intros. That guy certainly loves his distortion pedal. The tone of his guitar sounds very similar to Dimebag Darrell. The song is super thrashy. The production quality definitely takes me out of the mood. And I don't know, I get the vibe that they really didn't think out the song structure of this too much. They kind of just had a bunch of riffs that they thought were kick-ass and kind of jammed them together. The vocals are not terrible by any means, but not really my thing. If you're looking for something that's just sheer brutality, this might do the trick for you. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Telos by Between the Buried and Me. The intro is super in your face. As I've said many times, I'm not a huge fan of growl vocals, and this one I didn't really particularly like per se, but I gotta say they were kick-ass. They were really, really good growl vocals. The guitar part around 1:30 is very cool. It kind of reminds me of like prog thrash with a little bit of death. And then the following syncopated part had me bobbing my head pretty dang good. The one part of the song that I really did love was the clean part with the clean vocals. It really took all the technical shit that they were doing and showed that they're definitely a fantastic band, which I've listened to a number of Between the Buried and Me songs, and I mean, they are a fantastic band. The production makes the song sound very huge at certain parts. You can tell they used a ton of compression to squeeze out all the headroom they possibly could and just frickin' shove that thing up to the roof. I can absolutely dig and respect their style, but the really more extreme parts was just a little too much for me. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. Heroin is one hell of a drug. This is one of the best productions out there to date. Pink Floyd is always fantastic at conveying their message, both lyrically and musically. This is also another case of the whole being bigger than the sum of its parts. There's so much detail in the production and arrangement, little things that unless you're listening to it more than once and really paying attention with your ear, you'll never catch in just a quick passive listening. And I would say these two solos that David Gilmour takes are some of his best work, in my opinion. There are too many little parts and little nuances to point out than in the span of time that I have to sit here and talk to you guys about it. There is a reason why people love Pink Floyd so much. This song will pull your heartstrings good and tight. Total grade for this song, 2+ signs. Hotel California by the Eagles. This is probably the only song by the Eagles I really like, and I really like this song. This is an instance of doing guitar harmonies super right throughout the whole song. One of the greatest chord progressions mixed with a great melodic line and perfect arpeggiation equals the most epic melancholy feeling you've ever experienced. The vocals are fantastic. They're not technically brilliant, but really expressive, and tonally, I should say timbre-wise, really fits with the music. This definitely inspired the California sound. Oh my freaking goodness, the guitar solo. Just listen to the guitar solo, because it speaks more words than I ever could about it. Total grade for this song, 3+ signs. My suggestion to you this week is Thunderhorse by Dethklok. For those of you that are friends of the channel who are not so familiar with things metal, Dethklok is the animated band from the cartoon Metalocalypse. Supposed to be a fun, kind of like a parody show of death metal and just all things culturally metal. This song in particular is just called Thunderhorse. I think it has all of like 5 words in it, but those words are repeated over and over again in a barely audible growl tone. The music is just epic though. The music's super cool. Won't be anytime soon because I have so many other projects in front of it, but this will absolutely be a random jams that's going to happen. And that is it for Song Suggestion Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to suggest some songs, leave your suggestion in the comments below. If you would like to choose the songs that I review for you, please go to the link in the description. Go to my Patreon page, pledge $5 or more a month, and you can do it too. You guys can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Become the Night to catch up on my latest videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!